Hello, Gino. Hello, YouTube. Mike in Detroit. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we have our guitars out. And earlier, if you're subscribed, you probably saw a video, I don't know, a few months back, where I was talking about diminished chords and diminished scales on the guitar, these kind of chords. And in jazz and gospel, we use them all the time, and we love them all the time because they just add that hot sauce to our music. But, you know, so far, we have learned to improvise using, let me get my camera down here. We have learned to improvise the tools that we have at our disposal. Major scale, I'm gonna be in B flat. Or minor pentatonic. And we learned all the positions of the minor pentatonic. We also learned arpeggios. So those are the tools that we have at our disposal when it's time to improvise. And you only can go to war with the tools that you have. So today, I'm going to add one more tool. Open your toolbox up, pull the drawer out. We're going to add a diminished scale to our arsenal that we can pull out whenever we want it. So this is probably not going to be a very long video because diminished scales are easy to play. Now, Gino, you already know how to play a diminished chord. This way, I've seen you play it, so we don't have to go over that. If you're on YouTube, get yourself a scale book or a chord book, or go online, they're all over the place, and find the chord pattern for a diminished chord. Now, a little bit of theory is that when we get to a dominant chord of any kind, anywhere, in any song, we can kick that dominant chord to the curb and play a diminished chord. My dog wants to play. We can, let's say we have a, I don't know, let's say we're playing in the key of C and we're playing a 2-5-1. So we can play this. There's a D minor and we can play a G7. And that gets us to a 1 chord of some kind. But how I voice that is not the purpose of what we're talking about today, because Gino can play that better than I can. But the point here is that when we're playing a 2 chord, right, we can kick that 5 chord, that G7 chord, out and put in a G sharp diminished. And then go to 1. So this G sharp diminished. And so far, I don't think I've told you anything new, Gino. Now, because we know that a G sharp diminished chord substitutes for a dominant, it's really like a dominant flat 9 chord. Here's G, here's the 9, flat 9, play a diminished. But the easiest way to think of it is find G, go up a half step and play a diminished chord. Just play a diminished chord right there. See my third finger's on that G sharp? And that relaxes itself. That brings more tension. We like that. And that goes right to a C chord. Or this C chord. Or any old C chord. Now, let's figure out how to play a diminished scale. And then throw that in the toolbox. So a diminished scale is easy peasy Japanese. Pick a note, any old note. Let's pick A, right? So if you look where the half steps are, they're going to alternate. Just remember seesaw, whatever you want to. So if I play fingers 1, 3, 5, almost like a minor, right? Then I'm going to play 1, 2, 5. Did you see the half steps alternate? So I'm playing 1, started on A, cut started on A, you know. So when I played 1, 3, 5, the half steps are down here, what I call the bottom. Half steps on the bottom, half steps on the top. Now I got to shift up. Half steps on the bottom, half steps on the top, half steps on the bottom, half steps on the top. I just played a diminished scale. Easy smeezy. All you gotta do is remember when you get to the D string to shift up one. Start on the bottom, top, shift, bottom, top, bottom, top. Let's go backwards. Top, bottom, top, bottom, shift, top, bottom. So step 1 is play that. Now I just played a diminished scale. Now I sent you over, Gino, a sheet with a little theory on it. Diminished scales and chords are very symmetrical. So a group of them would be C, E flat, G flat, and A, all same. They're going to end up being the same thing. That group, C, E flat, G flat, A. That matter of fact, that's how you spell a diminished chord. C, E flat, G flat, and A. The second group would be D flat, E, G, and B flat. All those 4 different groups, 1 scale. Yeah, I told you it was easy. You don't have to learn 4 scales, 1 scale. D flat, E, they're all interchangeable, is what I'm trying to say. And then there's only 3 of them, so the third group is D, F, A flat, and B flat. Those are all the same. Okay? So we can call that what I just played is you can call that a diminished scale. We can call it a F sharp or G flat diminished scale. We can call it a D sharp or E flat diminished scale, or we can call it a C diminished scale. They're all going to be exactly the same notes. So that's kind of paper and pencil stuff. A little spelling bee. One group is C, E flat, G flat, A. That's a group. All interchangeable. Don't care what you call them. They have 4 names, all same notes, same scale, same chords. That's how we end up with this kind of stuff. We're playing different chords, but they're really the same. Second group is D flat, E, G, and B flat, and then D, F, A flat, and B. All same. Doesn't matter what you call them. They'll answer to anything, as long as you don't call them late for dinner or something like that. Now, so far we got how to play this. Let me go over it one more time. Always start, if you're going low to high, bottom, top, shift, bottom, top, bottom, top. That's an A diminished scale, or E flat diminished scale, or F sharp diminished scale, or C diminished scale. If you go up to B flat, same pattern, bottom, top, shift, bottom, top, top. Now I just played the B flat diminished scale, or G diminished scale, or E diminished scale, or D flat diminished scale. All four of those, same thing, same exact notes. Go up one more, you're gonna play bottom, top, shift, bottom, top, bottom, top. I just played the D diminished scale or the F diminished scale or the A flat diminished scale or the B diminished scale. It depends on what you want to call it. They're interchangeable. They're interchangeable. Now what I'm going to do now is tell you when to stick these in. So let me move my band in the box, do that thing over here. And let me make it smaller because you don't need to be seeing all that. So basically I have a 1-6-2-5, and I put, just for practice purposes, I put plenty of space in there. So I got 4 bars of B flat, right? When you see a 1 chord, you play the B flat major scale, things you already know. You play the B flat major scale or G minor pentatonic. But when you see that 6 chord, which is a 6 dominant chord, you go up to G sharp and play a diminished scale. Just like you would go to G sharp and play a diminished chord. So then I spaced that out to 4 bars of that. Now you got a 2 chord, C minor. When you see the 2 chord, you go back to the B flat major scale. Now some books will tell you to play the Dorian scale. Nah, we're cheating. We go back to mama. We're gonna go back to playing a B flat major scale again. And then when you see that 5 chord, that F, I'll put an F13 there. Then you go to F sharp and play that diminished scale. Okay. Now, just for contrast, let me not do that. Let me not do that. Here's how it would sound if I improvised on using just say B flat major scale. Let me put it on. Hopefully, so this is something we're used to. Say, well, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Now I'm going to play that again, but before I do, I'm going to, okay, let's play a B flat major scale E2 shape. So E2 means low E string, second finger on B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now stop on 6. Now I'm going to tell you why I stopped on 6 here in a minute. That 6th degree of the scale is where G is, right? Now, thinking ahead, when we get to the G chord, we're going to go up 1 to G sharp and play a diminished scale. Bottom, top. You don't even have to shift when you start on a D chord, because you're already, that shift has already happened. And the reason I think of it on the D scale is because usually that's where we're improvising on the high strings anyway. So think of the 6th degree of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you get to that G chord, go up, play a diminished scale. Bottom, top, bottom, Now, when you get to the C minor chord, go back to your B flat scale. Now I'm back on 6 again. Now when you get to the F chord, go backwards. Go backwards. That's G flat or F sharp. F sharp is remember we go to the sharp one and play a diminished chord, and we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to go bottom, top, bottom, top. Now when we get back to B flat again, we're going to go up, down. Now, I'm going to play this almost like typewriter, like an exercise, and that's what I want you to do too. So we got a 1, 6, 2, 5, but the 6 is dominant and the 5 is dominant. And that is so common, you know, in jazz. So let's play it like it's an exercise, almost like typewriter. So here we go. Now this time I'm going to put in the diminished chords, and you notice the difference, right? G. Now we're on B flat again. G sharp. Now, did you notice the difference in the tension and the release? And that's just typewriter. You need to do typewriter long enough until you have these diminished shapes kind of under your fingers a little bit. So let's do it without the backing track. So here is a 1 chord. The 1 chord is this. Let that ring, and then play your B flat major scale. Right? Now we're gonna go up a half step from the 6 to this. Sorry. No, that was right the first time. Now we're gonna play the diminished chord from there. Bottom, top, bottom, top. And then now we have a 2 chord, B flat scale. And then we have a 5 chord. Now we're gonna go to F sharp diminished. And that's all it is to it. Now, these diminished scales are a little bit of hot sauce. You can intersperse them with your major scale or your minor pentatonics, because they do have a little hot sauce on them. But learning them, go ahead and put the hot sauce on. The other thing that's nice about these diminished scales is that they're so symmetrical that, remember when we were learning minor pentatonics, we had to learn this shape and that shape, 5 different shapes. And diminished scale, nothing to learn. You come down here, same shape. Bottom, top, bottom, top. Go way up here, same shape. Bottom, top, bottom, top. Go way up here, it's the same shape. You gotta learn one shape. Bottom, top. So if you work from the D string up to the high E string, there's really not any shifting, but that's not a big deal either. If you're down here on the low E string and the low A string, you just got to remember to shift back 1 fret to get to the D string. But for the most part, rarely do I improvise down there anyway. It's possible, but it's rare. So if you think about the D string, you got one thing to learn. You got bottom, top, bottom, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Doesn't matter. If you learn that one shape, you can play a diminished scale off of anywhere on the guitar, any note, just remember that if you want a C diminished scale and you see E flat, that's the same scale. You see G flat, same scale. A, same scale. Get those 2 things down, and then you're in business. We'll talk about that more on Thursday when I see you. Anyway, have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.